Assalamu alaikum. This is done in news especially. We have a story of polio vaccines, and we will read this story and I will explain it in English language especially. This is very important. So let's start the story of the drop. What's inside a polio vaccine that prevents up to 3 million deaths every year? Polio is often identified as polio is a crippling disease that remains preventable but entirely incurable around the globe. Till date, the only two vaccines available to the world for prevention against the virus are oral polio vaccines and inactivated polio vaccines (IPV). While some positive cases remain asymptomatic, others have reported fever, stomach pain, sore throats, nausea, stiff necks, and headaches. The disease, also known as to travel from person to person via contaminated water, means polluted water. According to the WHO, every year immunization campaigns help people keep up to 3 million children under the age of 5 from dying of this disease that causes bone-related deformities. Means which bone becomes fractured. How does the virus attack the liver? The live virus attacks the human body by replicating it. Replicates means make their copies itself first in their intestines and then journeys all the way to brain, and then after the infection of intestine and goes to brain and spinal cord through the blood. Polio is also known to cause a paralysis, means in which it paralyzes to cause massive impact when the virus is successful in reaching and attacking the nervous system in order to prevent this disease from leaving about 18 million people paralyzed. Paralyzed means having unable to walk. Two key vaccines were developed, though the two vaccines were developed and made available in the 1950. These are commonly as inactive polio vaccines, IPV and oral polio vaccines. Since discovery means starting from the discovery, the oral polio vaccine, which is cheaper and more widely used solution in the developing world, has been administered through the liquid drops via the mouth, while the inactivated polio vaccines, now the only form of polio vaccine used in the USA, is only given in the form of series of shots. What are polio vaccines really made of? The year 1950 witnessed remarkable advancement in the discovery of vaccines at the head of Dr. John Silk, Dr. Albert Sabin. In what is seen as near miraculous milestones in the history of epidemics, these vaccines were successful in ridding nearly the whole world of the crippling means to paralyze the virus. To put together the oral polio vaccine (OPV), a mixture was created of 3 lives intubated polio virus strains in order to keep the human body free from virus. The OPV builds antibody in the blood against all 3 types of polio virus, which shield the nervous system. Shield means it shields the nervous system when an attack takes place, and produce an immune response by lining the intestines, which are the first and preferred home of the polio virus when inside the human body. This response of the OPV oral polio virus makes it one of the most widely acknowledged solution to varying person to person transmission of the wild virus. Wild means to be in we can say forest virus. While the OPV was produced by weakening means to weak strains of the polio virus, the OPV and activated polio vaccine purified the virus and killed it with chemical called formaldehyde to prevent paralysis, and AIPV stops the wild polio virus from reaching the brain and the spinal cord instead of lining the intestines. Both methods of immunizations gained popularity due to their widespread success around most parts of the world, but the polio shot is commonly preferred. It contains a dead virus that does not carry the ability to replicate means make their copy, which is a key requirement for the disease to cause paralysis. Key means basic requirement. This widespread preference is rooted in the oral vaccines and ability to reduce the side effect to zero. It said that in one of every 2.4 million recipients of the weekend virus strains carried in the OPV causes paralysis. However, many countries around the world continue to use OPV as these are relatively affordable and easy to use and good at building and maintaining immunity. Widespread use of IPV outside the USA and the developing world per se has been difficult, as these vaccines bring along high costs with an ability to assure biocontainment requirement for production. History of polio. First major polio outbreak recorded in the USA 1894. Polio term was coined as coincidence 1905 only. Investigations for immunization started to begin 1910. Early vaccine trial has been started in USA 1935. In 1988, global polio eradication initiative starts. 2019, 9% reduction cases recorded. 2014, South Asia declared polio free by WHO. 2017, polio declared as pandemic in Afghanistan and Pakistan and Nigeria. And in 2020, Pakistan and Afghanistan continue to fight polio virus disease. It's believed that the polio has continued to attack humans for millions of years. Evidence means shows the symptoms of this virus crippling disease causing various bone deformities, means formation they deform the shape of the change that appear polio like in nature, has lived through Egyptian caravans since 1400s. The disease was largely unknown before mid of the 18. It means that it was unknown. It was not known before the 1918. This is the best. It was in the 1990s that the white polio virus gained strength and turned into the epidemic. It means that in 1900 it was reported that it was to be considered as epidemic polio virus. In the recent times, it means that in current times following the 2000 polio has been reduced to an endemic and with a stronghold in Pakistan, Afghanistan, with a much larger number of active cases being reported, as vaccination campaigns are faced with numerous challenges due to the coronavirus pandemic. Pakistan is currently running a countrywide immunization campaigns aiming to vaccinate 40 million children this year, but out of which around 32 million children have been already successfully vaccinated across 130 districts. It means that in Pakistan 40 million children, among them, out of them 32 million children had been successfully vaccinated, and the rest of the 8 million have been remained. So this is the story of polio viruses. I hope this polio virus story will be more helpful for you. If this will be more helpful, please do subscribe, comment, like, share. Thank you so much. Bye bye and take care of it.